Let's call it. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum. Peace. It's Nyla, Coach Nyla, one of your co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as one of the coaches and one of the co-authors of Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. So I'm going to get started with this tea and chat in a second. We'll give some time for okay. Just have to make sure. No. I was just making sure that everything was up and running. Is up and running. So we are going to get started in a bit. Make sure that you have something right with it right on, and just have your questions ready. We're going to talk about we're going to chat about a serious topic. I want to see something because I see that like my lighting keeps going in and out. So I'm going to have my AV guy help me out a little bit. The lighting is back and forth. It's happening when you're live. So this is going to be an important Polygyny chat because we're going to talk about deficiencies in polygyny. And does a wife or a woman being in polygyny make her deficient? So make sure that you let me know where you chatting from, where you watching from, what city, what state, what country, how's the weather, all of that other good stuff. Make sure you're sharing because sharing is caring. We're going to get started in about 60 seconds. And we are going to talk about this and chat about this serious topic because I'm going to give you some information on how to kind of get through that because it's a thing. It's a thing. We've gotten emails, there's been comments, everything like that as far as deficiencies and feeling deficient because a husband wants to marry again, or your husband possibly married again, or your husband is actually married to someone else. You know, your husband practices polygyny. That's pretty much the long and the short of it all. So make sure you share. Sharing is caring. We're going to get started in a bit. So I'll give you guys a chance to do that in a second. Again, in the chat, in the comments, let me know where you are watching from. And if you have some questions, definitely feel free to put it there. And if you have some questions, make sure you have question marks before and after so I can go through them and know which ones are the questions and which ones are the comments to ask, because those are the ones I'm going to tackle first. So we'll get started in about 30 seconds. Okay, assalamu alaikum, peace. It's your coach, Coach Nyla, of course, one of the co-founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships and one of the co-authors of the book, or co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. And in this tea and chat, we are going to discuss and chat about deficiencies in polygyny. And what made me decide to do that as today's topic, or choose that as today's topic, because I've seen it a lot in our feeds, whether it's in our social media, whether it's being sent to us by email. And we actually had an email that came through that actually talked about and asked to, made a request as far as doing a video on deficiencies or feeling deficient and what that would look like in polygyny, or if a husband makes you feel deficient. So we're going to get right into it. Again, let me know where you guys are watching from. and where you are, how's the weather, all that other good stuff. Put your questions, comments in the chat. I will be looking at those throughout the tea and chat. So here's the thing. When it comes to being deficient in polygyny, they're being deficient, period. Okay, we as women, we have our insecurities. That's kind of a given with a number of different things. We have media playing a role in that. We have different things of trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, or keep up with, this Instagram model here or this person on TV there, or, different men saying that this is what they like and things like that. Here's the thing, and I'm stating because I'm not the, excuse me, we're not talking about immoral things. We're talking about what we hear as women. I'm a Muslimah. I cover, I follow my deen, Islam, I'm modest, all that other good stuff. But you do hear what's supposed to be, quote unquote, what men like. And then when you think of what men like, you think of like, okay, well, if men like this, then that means that my husband will like these things. That is one of the things that can cause deficiencies and can cause issue too, where we are not communicating with our husbands on what they like specifically. And when it comes to polygyny, because our co-wife could be totally different than we are, because we are not the same. None of us are the same. We have our differences, and that's fine. The thing is that because of that, we start to compare. We start to compare ourselves to what our co-wife looks like, what our co-wife has, what our co-wife does, these different things like that. And they're like, well, if he was so pleased with me, then why did he marry someone else? Or why is he married to another person if he's so pleased with me? I remember that used to be a thing with me. It was like, okay, well, why me? Why me? And not to the point where why me, like I was not good enough or anything like that. The why me came from that whole mentality. If you have this stuff, and I'm like, I know who your wife is, I've seen who she is, I've seen how you dote on her, type of thing. It's like, well, what is my place? Why am I here? Type of thing. And that comes from the societal conditioning of that if a man is attracted to or loves more than one, or whatever the case may be, another woman, then he doesn't love the other one, or that he's not attracted to the other one, or there are deficiencies. And I have to be clear about what it means when it comes to deficiencies, because deficiency means lack, meaning that you have shortcomings, meaning that you have these issues and problems with you. Not that it's just that we are not everything for everybody. We can't be everything, not just for everybody, but for anybody. We can't. We're not built that way. As well as our husbands can't be everything for us. They can't, and they're not, regardless of what we want to say. I'm gonna give you guys a disclaimer. It's Ramadan. For those who don't know, who are not Muslim, because everybody who watch our stuff are not Muslim. And I am fasting. So my throat, I don't have my tea in front of me. I don't have my water, have nothing but me. So I might be fading in and out with my voice. Hopefully I don't, and we can, get through this together. All right, cool. Okay. But I just want to let you guys know that because I will be kind of trying to clear my throat. Sorry about that. But just getting back into that though, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about that? Even when it comes to feeling deficient, has there ever been a time when you felt that I'm lacking something, or you're wondering if you're lacking something when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to your marriage? Like I stated before, that was a thing with me in the beginning. And then there's other stuff too, just because, you are like, okay, well, I haven't, as an incoming wife, let's just say that for one, you say, well, I haven't been here, as long, or, there are other things that is going on, that they have this time and this history, and they built these things together, all these different things that can cause you to feel insecure and feel like you're lacking something. Then you have it on the flip side, on the other end, where you have initial wife or first wife that's stating, my goodness, why is he marrying someone else? I've done this. I thought that I was enough. See, that's not the thing. We can't look at ourselves as not being enough. We have to mind our marriage. See, these are the tips where, and this tea and chat will not be as long. It's not going to be long as the ones in the past, just because I do have to prepare and get ready for webinar. I have my webinar after this tea and chat, but I really wanted to come and discuss this because it's an ongoing issue. It's an ongoing challenge where we are wondering, or we have society telling us that because our husband's married again, or because our husband's married to someone else, that we are not enough, that we are deficient, that we have low self-esteem, that he can't possibly, love us both or love all of us, or all these different things that society wants to put in because of this Disney princess syndrome and a lot of happily ever after, Prince Charming type of stuff. Now, you can have your happily ever after, but your have happily ever after has to come with work. And it has to come with, and I'm not saying work. See, when I say work, I mean that you have to put in the effort. You have to put in the effort. Not where, it should be a daunting task to have fulfillment in your marriage. You should have fulfillment. You should be happy. You should enjoy and connect with your husband. The thing is that we just have to be careful of thinking that it has to be a cookie cutter way, or we are comparing ourselves to someone else's life, and we may not even want that life, or we don't even know the work that it went into it, the effort that went into it looking the way it looks. People usually say, it's a saying that I heard, that they say the grass is greener, or the grass may be greener on the other side. And it may be greener on the other side, but you don't know how much manure was put in it, how much work, how much stuff they went through in order to get it as green as it is. So I'm not saying that everything got to be all jacked up and, manure filled or anything like that. Not going there with it, but just saying that it takes effort and it takes minding your own marriage. So it's not about being deficient. And sometimes you will have those situations where you'll have husbands. I've seen it. I just had a email that I saw that talked about that, where you'll have a husband that will place blame and tell the wife that she didn't do this, or she wasn't enough of this, and this is why he got married again. That comes from not taking responsibility for why you did it in the first place. And it's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with marrying again, is what I'm going to say. It's something wrong with not taking responsibility for your reason of marrying, not blaming a person for marrying someone else. When it comes down to it, if you married another person, or if this person was deficient, or this person had issues, or this person was bothering you or annoying you or whatever, then divorce them then. And I'm not saying, just telling people to go divorce people, but I'm saying that if they were that much of a headache to you, set them free. Let them, be with someone who actually desires them, care for them, want to be with them, if that's the case. Usually that doesn't be the case. It's the case where a husband gets upset and says certain things out of anger or out of annoyance or whatever, because a wife did some things out of annoyance, out of anger, out of hurt, out of a lot of these different things, because hurting people hurt people. And they both were hurt, and they said some things that they shouldn't have said and didn't mean. That's where a lot of the issues lie. Instead of us being mature enough and adult enough to say, you know what, this is causing some issues. This is causing some strife. We need assistance. We need help. We need to communicate. We need to find out how we got to where we are right now. And for us as women to look at not look at anybody else marrying our husband as a threat to our marriage, because our marriage is our own personal, individual marriage. I'm saying that as a lesson as well as a reminder. I'm not going to act like I'm above feeling insecure, above feeling jealous, above feeling that, there will be someone that will take the place, take my place in the heart of my husband type of thing. I'm not going to act like I'm above that, because we can have some of those things, those negative feelings can come rearing its ugly head. You can have Shaitan or the devil in your ear. You can have other people talking about you, or saying things about you, and then you are questioning yourself. And you're questioning where you fit in. But the main thing is being able to have that conversation with your husband. Being able to have that conversation. And being able to be open to the information that's given, as well as talking to him and speaking to him when he's in a receptive mood. Not arguing and fussing, because like I stated before, ugly things can come out when we're saying things in a fit of emotion or in a heated rage. And then we can burn bridges that would be really hard to repair. Because then now we're dealing with trust issues, they're dealing with trust issues. And then we're wondering, can we ever get it back to how it used to be? When you're never going to get it back how it used to be. However, you can build it better if you take the effort, if you're intentional with it. And in addition to that, not falling into those pitfalls to begin with. I know it's easier said than done. Everything is easier said than done. You're going to hear me say that so much. Everything is easier said than done. You can say, I'm going to write my name, and you still have to take the effort to write your name, so it's easier said than done. So having a fruitful, fulfilling marriage is going to take the effort. It's going to take stepping back and trying to understand one another, trying to understand your husband, giving him space, giving him grace, giving yourself space and grace. And understand that it's not about being deficient. And here's the thing too. One of the things that I told a client when it came to the point of feeling deficient, feeling like she wasn't enough. I said, it's about being confident within yourself. And how do you do that? You work on yourself more than you work on anything else. You celebrate your wins. You celebrate the greatness within you. You build your spirituality. You stay in your personal development. Those different things. It's a big deal. So I'm going to take some questions. I hope that was. I hope you guys got some good information from it. As I stated before, it was going to be a fairly short tea and chat. I want to get ready for this webinar that I have. I want you guys to check out something really quickly before I get to the Q&A, and we're going to discuss that a little bit because I'm super excited about what we have going on in our polygamy education campus, because it's definitely needed. It's a thing that is needed. There's so much education on everything else, but not a lot of education on polygamy. And as I stated before, it's a needed space. It's a needed tool. So guys, check this out, and I'll get back to you in a second, and we'll take some questions, and I'll answer some questions, and we'll look at the comments, and we will close out in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if you have any questions, definitely put them in the chat, and we'll get to them right after this.
Polygamy.
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 Polygamy?
Polygamy.
Polygamy?
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Hello, wives.
Hello, husband.
Isn't it frustrating to see all these relationship and marriage experts not mention polygamy as though it's not an ancient solution to a modern day problem right now? Or how about those that talk against it, yet we don't know their relationship status, or they're involved in all kinds of scandals because they're scandalous?
And another thing that's so frustrating is when they're here today, gone tomorrow, and they don't offer you any tips or best practices for best results.
Or what about the religious leaders? And yes, I am calling them out, the religious leaders who don't talk about polygyny or are afraid to talk about polygyny like it's some taboo type of topic or something. And that's why we created our education campus at oprcampus.com.
Absolutely. We know that we need to make sure we have an area where we can get continuing education on all levels of relationships. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about premarital because you're single, or if you're a monogamy, you really want to build a life of fulfillment and craft it, or you choose to practice polygyny, but you need to actually have a good example so you can do it in a healthy manner.
And what's so awesome about our campus is that we have meet and greets.
And in these meet and greets, you can meet with your fellow students. You can meet with your coaches. We talk about different things with your classes. Yes, we have online live classes and challenges. So when you check that leaderboard, yes, there's a leaderboard in the campus as well. It can give you some fun, friendly competition amongst your students, amongst your peers, I guess I should say.
So with that, we want you to go ahead and make sure you have all the details. So go to oprcampus.com or click the button below to make sure you're fully plugged in, especially if you want to make 2023 your best year yet.
So click that button.
And we'll see you in the campus.
Alrighty, so yes, that's our OPR Polygamy Education Campus, which is, like you stated before, is totally needed. We do a number of things. Of course, you saw it from the from the video there that we have our meet and greets, we have our Q&A, our live Q&A, as well as our live classes. We have a lot that's rolling out for our second quarter. Which is amazing. So definitely check it out at polygamy.education.com, or you can also check it out what you saw on the video at oprcampus.com. So yes, indeed, let's get ready and take some questions. Just finished Maghrib in the UAE. Oh, alhamdulillah. Breaking your fast. Ramadan Mubarak to home. Muslims out there. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so, walaikum assalam. You offer one-on-one coaching, marriage counseling session. Yes, I do actually, and you will find that information at coachnyla.com. I'm going to put it up here so it's just easier for you to see. Oh, if I can. But yes, at coachnyla.com, I do offer coaching and counseling sessions, one-on-one. I do group coaching as well, but definitely you can get the one-on-one sessions, and it's been pretty just enlightening with a lot of different things and a lot of different clients, from whether they're first wives, subsequent wives, and just getting to know the dynamic and just helping them through breakthroughs, as well as confidence and things like that. Because that's what it comes down to. I will talk about. That's what I'll talk about, and that's what I did with when I discussed that in this TN chat. You know, being confident in your marriage, being confident in yourself, confident in your identity, where it goes that you have your individual identity. And sometimes we lose that. We lose our individual identity when we get married or when we have children and we become one, and we put so much into this identity and the marital identity or the parental identity, and we lose the individual. And a very close person to me, very important person in my life, did that and was married for 20 years, over 20 years, and is now getting a divorce. And she feels as though that she has to really start over and learn things that she felt that she should have been working on while she was married, because it was, it's kind of like a side swipe. And you don't want to feel deficient, so you're like, oh, I'm missing out, or I'm not even not missing out on life, but it's like I'm missing out on things that I should have done for myself. I'm missing out on my health, I'm missing out on my wellness, I'm missing out on my financial education, I'm missing out on these things because I put so much energy into one thing in my life. We're multifaceted. So just because we're wives, just because we're mothers, does not mean that we lose our individual identity and we don't build that up and we don't continue to work on ourselves. Of course, I'm going to say it again, definitely work on yourself more than you work on anything else, because it's going to bleed into, or it's going to flow into the other parts of your life. It's going to flow into those other parts of your life. So make sure you definitely work on you more than you work on anything else, and then those other things will fall into place as well. But also do the work, take the effort, make the effort. I should say. Hello, I'm Christian. I truly enjoy your videos and the information you're giving. Alhamdulillah. And that means all praises due to Allah or God. So, just in case, you wasn't sure. As I'm learning so much from you and Coach Fatimah, such beautiful spirits and beautiful women. Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah. And I know she's going to see that. And I'm going to tell her, just tell her as well that you said that. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. I'm going to say Princess Lynn. So please, if I slaughtered your name, please forgive me. So yes, it's beautiful. Alhamdulillah. So yes, if you guys have any more questions, definitely put them in the comments. I'm going to wrap it up in a second because, as I stated before, I do have to get ready for my webinar. What I want you guys to do is go to our campus at polygamyeducation.com and register, because we have our classes coming up. I have a class this Monday that I'm going to dig deeper on the deficiency syndrome. Polygyny deficiency syndrome is what I call it, where we are feeling like we are not enough, and how to get through that, how to grow through that, how to get past it, how to build your confidence, so that even if your husband states these certain things, you're able to have the communication, the conversation with him to let him know how that comes across, what it looks like for him as a person, as a husband, as a protector, provider, maintainer, and what that does for your trust in him. So these different things, but being able to be confident enough to have that conversation, to be able to say those things without being defensive, as well as not being accusatory. So yes. Oh, thank you. Alhamdulillah. I'm glad I said it correctly. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. If you guys have not registered for the webinar, it is a webinar, polygamy, or excuse me, jealousy and polygamy, get a grip so your marriage won't slip. If you have not registered, definitely go to learn with, excuse me, I'm sorry, learnwithcoachnyla.com, and you'll be able to get that information there. But you will also see it live as well. So inshallah, God willing, you guys will get the notification, but make sure you register, because that's how you'll get the worksheets that I'll be talking about and explaining in the webinar. Okay, so Tara, give me 1 second, because I just saw your question. I've been afraid of doing the work. Whenever I try, it feels debilitating. I understand that. I'm on the verge of walking away because of this topic, but I haven't walked away because of your video. Alhamdulillah. Yes, the effort is real. The effort is real. However, like I said, definitely join our campus, because you will have not only your coaches there to help you And we do have our Q&A sessions and things as far as that, but you'll have other students that's in the campus as well that you can chat with, and that you can have that, you can just have that camaraderie, so definitely check it out. Because when we feel like we're doing so much on our own, or we're really working hard and it doesn't seem like we're going anywhere and we're just spinning our wheels, it can feel debilitating. It can feel exhausting. However, we teach, and I also coach on how to pretty much check it, do a heat check, or do this check on seeing how your relationship is actually going, so you can celebrate the wins, even if they're small, even if they seem like they're minute wins, because that's when you know that it's still going in the upward direction. It may not happen as fast as we want it to happen, but as long as we're checking in and we're seeing that it's moving in a positive direction, even if it's a little bit, then it's hope there. So hope that helps. Tara, you said, where do you sign up for the webinar? The webinar is at learnwithcoachnyla.com. I'm going to try to see if I thought I had it up here, and I don't see it up here, so let me put it up there. Just so you can have it before we get out of here. Okay, so this is where you will get the information. This is where you can register for the webinar. I'm going to get started with that in about 15 minutes or so. So make sure you go over to there, register. That's where you will be able to get the emails and the information after the webinar to let you know how to get your worksheets and those things as far as that I'll be discussing. I'm going to leave that up until we're done. All right. F1. So if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to stick around for about a couple more minutes. But if there aren't any more questions, we'll close it out. And if there are, just put a question mark before and after, so I'll know what it is. Okay, here's Sinari. My Christian collage was colleague. Sorry, was surprised that Muslims do polygamy, and then I told him you do have that too. But then he was like, "No, it's not allowed." And I told him the book allows it. Am I wrong? You're not wrong. No, it's allowed. Allah allows it. The Creator allowed, for polygamy. So, and then if he said he's Christian, so if he knows Abraham, alayhi salam, and Suleiman or Solomon, they're in the book, and they're, the history is there. So yes, it's allowed. Allah allowed it, for men. I say mankind, but for men. So yes, polygyny is allowed, regardless of your Christian, Muslim, Jewish, whatever. So yes, you're not wrong. And if he's familiar with the prophets, then he can look and see that they practice polygyny. So yes. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's not against the law of Torah. It's biblical. A major reason why it's in practice heavily later is because they're under the Roman law. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know those things. So, but yes, we just know that it is allowed. So, alhamdulillah. All righty. If there isn't anything else, I'm going to get ready for this webinar. I hope to see you guys there, inshallah, God willing. And until next time. And this Tea and Chat will be up on our YouTube channel. So if you missed it, in case you were in different parts of the world and you were praying or breaking your fast or anything like that, definitely, for my Muslim brothers and sisters, for Muslim sisters out there, if that was the case, that's fine. It will be on our YouTube channel for you to revisit. And I do look at the comments. We look at the comments. So even if you weren't live and you're commenting, that's fine too. Because we see that, or you have any questions, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section. So until next time, make sure you are growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I enjoy spending this time with you. And inshallah, God willing, I will see you in the webinar. Make sure you go to learnwithcoachnyla.com to register. And I'll see you in about 10 minutes. All right, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.